Alright, here we go. How's everyone doing? Just get a quick audio visual check, make sure that everything is okay with today's live stream. As usual, FORFLIES picking the worst times to go live because we're right in the middle of a price zone right now. So, in my opinion, there's no point to do analysis here, but the stream was scheduled from 2 hours ago, so the show must go on. Let's just wait for you guys to tell me everything was okay with audio video. Perfect. Okay, thank you very much, Terrence. Well, let's break down what happened. So first of all, one of the key things I was talking about was yesterday Bitcoin was in a bit of a rising wedge, rising channel, and we could end up pumping out of it. And we did very, very well. This did not come by surprise. As you already knew, I was in a trade, an active long position in Bitcoin. I still am in that same trade. And I was able to close, I think it was like 50% profit up here. If my memory is correct. It was something around a 50% profit. So very, very impressive. In fact, I should have the number here somewhere. Nope, I don't know where it is. It was a good profit. And I did take profits around this level purely because I expected that the market could have a small chance of breaking down. Granted, I didn't think that the chance was this high, but it's absolutely fine because since then we ended up setting a double top and we've now started trading downwards. We initially found a bounce off this rising channel area. Look, we bounced off right here, and then we bounced off in a similar area as well, again with the same rising wedge, rising channel acting as support. But as soon as we fell below $63,000, the market was ready to dive very, very low. We are now right in the middle of a price range. There's nothing here until we fall back down to this level on the market. Fortunately, that's very close. We're going to hit that level in about $400. So it's not going to be too difficult for Bitcoin to find support there, hopefully. But that is the next area of support that I will be looking at. The fact that we were able to rise up to 65 is great. It's not a major surprise that the market topped out right there. It is a psychological area of resistance. Oh, someone in the comments corrected me. Yeah, so it was 56% profit that I closed up here. Absolutely beautiful. Very, very happy with how that trade has been performing. You guys already know how to join VIP if you're interested. But taking it back to the chart here, this is completely fine because I mentioned in the previous live stream that we would hopefully start topping out at those psychological resistance areas. I told you that since the price entered price discovery mode and we had a blue sky breakout, the only thing really that can have any bearing on the market now is psychology. And so no surprises, we topped out at $65,000. That's why I took profits just before that. And now that we're seeing a little bit of a dip, I think it's completely fine. The fact is, ladies and gents, Bitcoin was able to pump a fair bit above the previous all-time high. I mean, it was able to pump nearly 5% above the previous all-time high. And now we are seeing a little bit of a dip to potentially find some support. But the good thing is, there's a lot of support. If we look at this on the 1 hour time frame with our Ichimoku cloud, let's take a look at where this support is. Bam, right there. I mean, literally a matter of hours. We're talking about 12 hours. We're going to find support in this price range right now. If we dip a little bit lower, we're going to find a lot of support at the $61,000 area roughly. This is a beautiful, beautiful place to start seeing support on this chart right here. I'm very optimistic about Bitcoin finding support here because of what I've been saying in the previous videos. Those of you who are regular subscribers, shout out to you. Those of you who are hitting up the likes and tuning into each of these videos and live streams, you'll know very well that I was talking about how this entire area was very strong resistance for Bitcoin for quite a while. And as a result, I was expecting it to turn into good support. And it did. Look at this. I mentioned that this whole area was an area of resistance for the market. And so it could act as support if we came down. And it did. And we got a big bounce that triggered the rally to the all-time high. So once again, that analysis proving to be exactly on point. The market moving exactly as predicted. And so I'm expecting the same thing to happen right now. If we continue dipping down a little bit, I just think that we're going to find more support in this big support zone. And that does nothing other than excite me. So I'm very happy with how that's going. If we take a look at some of the other indicators that might provide a little bit more support for Bitcoin, the 4-hour time frame is showing us that just in a couple of days, 4 or 5 days from now, we're going to have a lot of support right here on the 4-hour time frame. You guys know that I consider the 4-hour time frame to be a mid-term time frame. It's not mid-term. Most people would consider it short-term, but I consider 4-hour to be mid-term, 1 hour to be short-term, and 1 day to be long-term. And so on this so-called mid-term time frame, I am looking at potentially seeing some support around the $60,000 to $62,000 area on the Ichimoku cloud, which is absolutely great. And of course, it's a little bit better with momentum. Momentum on the 4-hour time frame is already on our side right here, already potentially indicating that Bitcoin could end up rising very well, very, very soon. We're already in that EMA ribbon, which is absolutely great. I'm curious to see how the 1-hour time frame is. Yes, we failed it on the 1-hour time frame, but it's never very reliable on the 1-hour time frame anyway. 4-hour is where the magic is at, in my opinion. It's already helped the trend up so many times just since we established a spread right here. And I mean, this is showing us that we could stretch all the way down to 60,000 and still find support, and I absolutely think that that's true. So I'm very optimistic about where Bitcoin may be able to find support in this range. Definitely think that there's a good chance that Bitcoin can make good use out of this price range right here for a little bit of support. We've got momentum showing that. We've got a sideways trading range showing that. Look at this. It's just, I mean, this isn't really down to interpretation. This isn't really open to interpretation. We were finding resistance in this range, right? I mean, that's not really something you can deny. And so Bitcoin potentially coming back down to this level now, I think it's absolutely primed to find some support in this range. And that to me is obviously very exciting, because if we're able to find support here, this is going to be an opportunity for people with a good basis in the market to start trading with a little bit of more long positions. And actually, if we take a look at the funding, now bear with me because I don't actually know how to show you the funding. Does anyone know how I can pull up the funding chart? Because it's been a long time since I've done that. Does anyone know where I can see the funding chart for Bitcoin? Please let me know, because I forgot. But the funding rates are extremely high for long positions. I know that very well because I've been in a long position for a while. And if it weren't for my 56% profit up here that I secured, and the other profits on the way up, the other profit singular on the way up, I would have been in a pretty nasty loss. But now that I have taken good profits on my position, I'm sitting pretty okay. Someone who's, I don't want to make too much fun out of him, but someone who's not very well developed in terms of his trading mindset has pointed out that I've said, I'm in a long position, Bitcoin is going down, but I'm happy about it. And he is pointing it out sarcastically. I am happy about it because what I want is for Bitcoin to go up in the midterm, short term, and one of the key things that can enable that are pullbacks. So whether Bitcoin had a pullback from here down to just here, or if it drops even lower, we're still getting a pullback, and we've just had an all-time high breakout. So it doesn't actually get much better than this in terms of a sustainable market price movement. In order to get sustainable market price movements, this is absolutely essential. And one of the key things that I think this is helping us do right here is, it's called Bitmex funding rate. It's allowing us to wash out the, I can't find it here, one second. It's allowing us to wash out the funding rates, which are absolutely massive. So let me see if I can find a chart for this. Bear with me. Because it's not, yeah, I've typed in Bitmex funding and it's not showing up, so I'm not entirely sure. Maybe if I type in rate, oh, it does. Well, this is Huobi. Is this going to prove the same point though? I don't even know if this is the funding rate. I don't think so. I can't find it. Look, I'm typing in exactly what you guys have told me to, but it's just not here. In any case, the funding rates are the fees that you pay to keep positions open with leverage. And they're very, very high right now, or they were very high. I haven't actually seen them since this dump, because the dump happened right when I hit, go live, when I hit start streaming. But I absolutely think that the funding rates are going to cut down quite a lot. And that's one of the key metrics that we need to be in a healthy place in order to enable much healthier rises in the market. So that's what I'm excited by right now. It's under indicators, is it? Why is it saying bitumen? This is why no one likes iOS. Okay, perfect. So let's overlay. Thank you very much for that. Who was that who told me? It's under indicators. Thank you very much, Daniel. So if we take a look at this on the daily time frame, I mean, the funding rates were absolutely massive. I mean, the last time they were very, very high, the market topped out. So it did continue going higher just a little bit more, but we saw a massive crash afterwards, right? So we are starting to cut them down a little bit. Funding rates were previously at 0.13, now down to 0.05. So ideally, we want them to be very, very low in order to see the market rising. And this has more than halved the funding rate according to this particular indicator. Let me just see if there's another one which might be more reliable, because I've heard neobutane is this the one I was already looking at? Oh, here we are. Okay, so look at this on the 1 hour time frame, get a better look of it. And actually it hasn't changed much on this one. It was very high before, peaked a couple of days ago at 0.4, and then recently at 0.27, and now it's down to 0.12. So even though this might not look like a big difference, it has actually more than halved according to this indicator as well. This is a very technical look at the market, so I'm going to keep it away now because it's actually not necessary. But it's absolutely essential to show us that essentially a lot of the people who are in long positions on this rally up have now been washed out with this move. People who are over leveraged have been washed out with this move. And we know that markets typically work in ways where they want to cause the maximum amount of pain in the shortest possible time. And this is one of the key ways you can do it. You spike in both directions, so you screw people over, and then you continue trading upwards. This is very, very common, and I know for a fact that a lot of people have gotten liquidated, have gotten stopped out on this move because of their poor risk management. Of course, it didn't happen to me because I was choosing my stop losses carefully and different things like that. But other people who maybe don't have that level of experience or diligence, they have been stopped out, and that's exactly what enables us to then make our next rally upwards. Very technical indicator. If you would like, I can go into a little bit more detail on that in this live stream. Please let me know, and I will go into more detail on it. But for now, I do think that I might have explained it fairly well. Hopefully that is good enough for you guys. The other thing to point out, ladies and gents, is that there was that ascending triangle that I was talking to you guys about a little bit, and we have pumped out of it very nicely and now come back down to test it as well. So as far as, again, you know, just beautiful support resistance flips go, we're doing very well in my opinion. I mean, you can draw this, this is a little bit more open to interpretation, to be honest, this line, but you probably draw it a little bit like this, maybe a little bit lower, it doesn't really matter. The point is we are actually coming back down to test this area to find support at a previous area of resistance. So that is very, very appealing to me. It's just the fact that the market is coming back down to kiss these levels, to say goodbye essentially before a potential rocket ship up. That's what really, really excites me. That's what I think is super, super healthy for the trend. So seeing that, absolutely great. And the thing to take note of is that we're getting this with multiple time frames and multiple indicators. We've got an ascending triangle showing us that we've come back down to test an old area of resistance as a new area of support. We've got my beautiful, just normal, they're basically the same thing, but my beautiful horizontal boxes and lines also showing us that we are coming back down to test an old area of resistance as a new area of support. We've then also got momentum on our side on the 4 hour time frame. We've also got the Ichimoku clouds on our side on the 1 hour and the 4 hour time frame. Let's see a slightly longer time frame. So on the daily chart, give it a couple more days, and these EMA ribbons are also, these EMA lines are also going to catch up to the market quite well. I think just literally in the next 2, 3, 4 days, I think we might start to see a good area of support around this range. have I used the MRI? Let's take a look at the MRI. The MRI is, again, a very complicated indicator, so I don't want to spend too much time talking about it. It's going to confuse a lot of people. But out of curiosity, let's take a look at it anyway. Let's see what the MRI indicator was saying. This is an indicator made by Tone Vase. Some of you guys will know that he's one of the analysts that I really like in the space. And yes, there is the MRI top right there. B extension complete. C extension nearly complete, and A extension's just started there. So 1 to 4 candle correction, potentially drop a little bit lower, just trade sideways and then back up. To me, that looks like the most likely scenario. I think we, worst case, we drop as low as $60,000. More likely, maybe we just slowly trade there. Maybe we just kind of trade sideways. I don't think anything super dangerous or scary is going to happen now. I think that the worst of it is over. Maybe we do drop just a little bit more, but then I think we're going right back up. I think that it's very unlikely that that we are going to start trading lower than 60K. If Bitcoin does drop below 60K, I will lose a lot of hope. If Bitcoin drops below 58K, all of the bullish momentum is lost, in my opinion. So I got 2 lines of defense right here, the way I see it. There is the $60,000 level. Let's remove all of these because we don't need these. There is the $60,000 level and the $58,000 level. These are the 2 final lines of defense that I see. We've already kind of nearly permeated this top line right here, but that's completely fine. As long as we don't drop below this line, I think we're good. If we drop below this line, I think the market is going to shit the bed and completely drop below $50,000. The reason for that is it's going to demonstrate a lot of weakness if we fall down this low and lower. It would actually erase most of the bullish rally that we've already had. And I think that would, definitely be pretty disastrous for the market. I think it's worth throwing on a Fibonacci really quick just to see if there are any interesting areas on this chart. 236 level is right at one of my yellow lines, but nothing else particularly interesting. And I'd also like to draw the same Fibonacci retracement from here. And again, nothing particularly interesting on the Fibonacci retracements as far as I'm concerned. So I'm not particularly worried about that either right here. I don't think it could, I don't think it's particularly dangerous or scary for the market. I am just going to be targeting, potentially dropping just a little bit lower and then carrying on rising higher. I just don't see it where the market has seen a beautiful breakup the way it did, that this thing can start crashing again and potentially, lose all of the bullish momentum that actually it's been working so hard to gain. I just don't think that's going to happen. I think that's quite unlikely. So those are my thoughts on those time frames. Just want to thank you all for tuning in, by the way. We're up to 850 viewers, so thank you very much. If you are enjoying this live stream, then please do hit up the likes, subscribe, tick the bell, do all that good stuff. The channel is not reaching as many people as it should, and I can't figure out why, because it used to do significantly better and I haven't changed anything. So to me, it still looks like the channel might be suffering some sort of a soft shadow ban. So every time you hit like, it really does help out. So if you're finding these videos and live streams helpful, that small click from you means a lot to me. So please go ahead and do that if you haven't already and you are enjoying these videos. And of course, if you want to join the VIP group and see how I'm tackling this in this market, still in a profit with my trade on Bitcoin, and crucially, already having secured a 56% profit on my position with Bitcoin, then the steps to join VIP are on screen right here. I've got other trades that I'm planning on making, and I think they could go very, very soon because the market is very volatile. We're actually running a beautiful, very, very aggressive sale on VIP, 50% off while Bitcoin is above $60,000, but it was only for the first 25 people that capitalized, and those spots have already been filled up pretty quick. Not all of them, there are still spots left, but many of them have already been filled up. So if you are interested, take a look at the testimonials we've got right here. This person making back his full investment plus 14% on top, doing very, very well. Heading over to Dubai so that we can rip through the mountains together, which sounds like an absolutely great idea to me. Another person right here making $370, very impressive 40% gain. Just, I mean, we've got people ranging from various different portfolio sizes joining VIP. It's not just ballers, with $50,000 portfolios, although we do have people from those kind of stretches as well. We've also got people who trade with, less than $2,000-$3,000 inside of VIP, and it's always been that way. So if you are interested in taking advantage of what we got on offer, then take a look at these steps right here, following these steps on screen, and we'll send you all the information with that flash sale that we're offering, 50% off. Spaces being filled up. So I'm just going to take a quick look at the comments and some of your questions. If you have questions, then please make sure that you are tagging me at FORFLIES. I'm now becoming even more convinced that we're going to bounce up, purely because at least two people have just mentioned that whale alerts on Twitter are claiming, this is right now, this is breaking news, so to speak. Whale Alerts has announced that Bitfinex stolen bitcoins are moving around. That is clearly something that was done to just trigger fear and uncertainty and doubt in the market, in my opinion. It's almost as cheap as saying China is banning Bitcoin again, here's your bearish card. We've overused that a lot. It looks like it's potentially time to start scaring people by moving around stolen bitcoins, because the implication there is that stolen bitcoins will be sold. I'm really not too worried about that. I actually find it funny. So that's my take on whale alerts claiming that stolen bitcoins are moving. That sounds more and more to me like this is just a ploy to scare people and make people more worried than they potentially should be. Let's see what other questions we have right here. TA on BNB, probably not, because I don't trade it. What does RSI mean to me? It means nothing. Would I look at monthly RSI? Absolutely not. Is it dangerous? Absolutely not, in my opinion. You said that 15 minutes ago about stolen Bitcoin. I'm sorry, I don't look at the chat until I've given my core analysis on the market. Do I think Bitcoin and coin stock, this is the Coinbase stock that Kelly is talking about, will be tied to each other for a short time? Yeah, I mean, they're quite well correlated. So if Bitcoin's doing well, I think Coinbase stock will be doing well, because the more Bitcoin, actually the more volatile Bitcoin is, the better Coinbase performs. So maybe not, but I think generally they will be correlated, absolutely. All-time high for people tuning in, still incoming, Sammy. Yes, absolutely. We're still yet to set, I think, the really, really big all-time high for sure. Although actually now I'm not sure if you're talking about the stream or for Bitcoin. But on the note of the stream, thank you all for actually hitting up those likes. If you did do so already, I really do appreciate that, as you know very well. We are starting to get a small bounce on Bitcoin already while I'm live. As you know, I don't like to analyze things live, because I like the dust to settle down a little bit before I start making judgments. But we are starting to get a nice little bounce right here. In terms of dollar amounts, we're already up by nearly $1,000. Remember when pushing the price by $1,000 was a lot more difficult than that? We're up by 1.4%, and we've done that inside of an hour. Well, inside of 10-15 minutes. So pretty good. Pretty good. It doesn't mean that we can't come back down. It absolutely means that we can still come back down. But for now, we are responding to support in healthy ways. I mean, we can crash down and still dip lower, even though we've done healthy things. It's worth taking note of that very much, in my opinion. That's absolutely essential. Thank you very much for the comments here, saying that you love my TA. I really do appreciate that. I'm ready to go through your questions. I'll take another look at Ethereum as well. Ethereum has been performing quite beautifully. The trend with Ethereum is actually a lot healthier than Bitcoin's, in my opinion. And this is another thing that gives me more confidence about Bitcoin, ladies and gents, because Ethereum has not seen a massive dump today. Bitcoin has. And so Ethereum right here, it's just, this is textbook. I mean, if you've been watching this channel for any period of time, if you've been subscribed, you'll know exactly what this is. I mean, I'm sure most of you have already noticed this already. I really do hope so. You're going to make my heart feel warm and fuzzy. But what we have right here is Ethereum, reestablished its kind of, short-term uptrend with some nice upward rising movements, a small continuation pattern here trading down, a rising channel here that broke out, so that's a continuation pattern, a very small bull flag, and then breaking up, a slightly bigger bull flag, and then breaking up, and now a falling wedge before potentially breaking up. This is beautiful. This is really, really healthy price action where Ethereum is forming various different continuation patterns on various different time frames, right? This is and I don't even know if you would count this one, but I'm going to count this because if you zoom in, it was definitely a bull flag. That's 1, 2, 3, now potentially the 4th continuation pattern that Ethereum is seeing within the space of 1 day. And if we take a look at how they fluctuated in terms of time, I mean, some of them have been 5 hours long. Another one right here, 10 hours. Our current one has gone on for 13 hours. Others have gone on for just 1 hour. This is so healthy for the market right here. It's forming various different but similar continuation patterns that indicate that the market could continue to rise higher. It's varying in terms of time frames as well. And this one is probably the most obvious one right here, just a small falling wedge. The market is moving up quickly and it's dumping very slowly. This is just one of the best signs that we could probably see in the market right here for Ethereum, definitely indicating to me that Ethereum will continue to outperform Bitcoin. I strongly believe that. I've been saying it for a long time. I said it just yesterday, and it's still moving very, very well. I mean, it's now broken the prior high that was holding it back a little bit since the beginning of April, and now trading at new highs, which is very, very impressive. We haven't seen these highs for a couple of months. Well on its way to continue to reestablish its dominance against Bitcoin. And I mean, these are the significant signs that, if you're not paying attention to them, if you're not tuning into the live streams like we had yesterday, which obviously you wouldn't be if you're not subscribed, if you don't have notifications turned on, if you're not inside of our free Telegram channel by following this first step on screen right here, if you're not tuned into this channel, you wouldn't be aware of these things, because I don't know how many other people are talking about this, but it's being aware of these kind of things that can really position you to profit massively from the market, from moves that actually in hindsight look very obvious because, well, in the moment they were pretty obvious as well. And that's absolutely great. That's absolutely huge in terms of its potential, in my opinion, right there. And so if we take it back to Ethereum right now, I think it still has great potential to continue to rise higher. And if Ethereum is going to go higher, then the thing we need to keep in mind, ladies and gents, is that if Ethereum is rising higher, it's because the market overall is optimistic and healthy. And if that's the case, then there's no reason that Bitcoin shouldn't continue to rise higher as well. In my opinion, if Ethereum can rise higher, then Bitcoin should be able to rise higher as well, because Ethereum is a riskier asset. It's almost like, you've got shout out to people in India. You'll know very well what this brand is. Everyone else probably won't, but you've got the OnePlus phone brand, which is like a budget but kind of high-end smartphone brand. If OnePlus is selling well, then Samsung is probably selling well as well, purely because Samsung is the big dog, OnePlus is smaller. So if OnePlus, the smaller speculative company, is selling phones very well, then Samsung must be doing very well as well. That's the way I see it right here. It's actually a little bit more clear in crypto, purely because Bitcoin is the main big king of the crypto space. So if Ethereum, the slightly more speculative bet, is performing well, that's showing you that investors are not worried in this market right now. It's showing you that traders are not worried in this market right now. And if people are not worried, to me, that's just the clearest sign that this is just a little bit of a pullback before things continue, before things resume being absolutely crazy and mind-blowing. And I love that. I think that's very, very cool. So that's kind of my take with Ethereum. Swissborg token has dropped by a little bit. It's now fallen nearly into the support zone I outlined yesterday at around kind of, the high 80-cent range. I'd just like to reaffirm once again, as long as we don't drop below 80 cents, I mean, we can for a wick or something like that, but as long as there is no major market drop below that level, I'm pretty fine with it. I think it's fine. I think that there's good potential for Swissborg token to pump up. And like I said, with me taking profits at $1.50, I announced this publicly. I also announced publicly I was buying around this time, so that's a 5x gain. Very, very impressive, of course. I think that with my taking profits up there, proven to be a very good decision, I might actually look to potentially re-enter a little bit around this price range and buy a little bit more Swissborg. If you're interested in finding out where you can buy Swissborg, then the link to do so is down there in the description. And actually, on that note, if you'd like to trade in the same places that I do, then the steps to do that are on screen. Well, they're not on screen yet. Bear with me while I bring them on screen. Bybit right here is available for you to sign up to by following another link in the description down below. I've also got a tutorial on how to use Bybit for you, so you can learn how to leverage trade, because I did pull, in this case with Bitcoin, a 56% profit, but Bitcoin only moved up by 5.6%. So I leveraged that up by a factor of 10x, which is why I performed so well in the market. That is my secret, so to speak. I mean, everyone knows the secret, everyone uses it, but if you're not already on that bandwagon, then you can join by following that link below, and it's going to give you the special bonus of giving you up to $600 completely free when you make your first deposit. So you stand to gain a lot from using that link down below. And of course, one of the key things to take note of is that if you have ever signed up to any exchange but not using someone's referral link, you're kind of on your own. But if you have used my referral link, for example, one thing I've done in the past and very recently as well with a friend who's actually watching this live stream today, is that if you do ever have a problem with the exchange and you've used the referral link, because you've referred, because I've been able to refer you to the exchange, I can also escalate your issues higher up the food chain, so to speak, with support. So if you have well worth, you don't know what can happen, but once you're in a problem, you don't want to have to wish that you did things differently later on. So this is one of those things that can help mitigate issues. And in my opinion, when you're trading with serious money, not doing something like that would be nearly foolish. So the link is down below if you are interested in signing up. United States, UK members, you will need a VPN, but of course I cannot endorse that. It's still completely fine to trade in my experience, but I can't tell you what to do. So there you go. If you are looking to find out where I trade. Someone's asked me to suggest a short-term gem coin, Bitcoin. I don't have other gems. I think the rest of them are shit. What else have we got here in the comments? As Bitcoin seems to complete a confirmation above 61,500, I'd like to know the logic of this kind of confirmation. I know the phenomena, but I can't tell the story behind it. Why is it legit? I didn't understand your question, Chengpin. I'm sorry. If you're asking me why is this a confirmation of support, I mean, you wouldn't know if it's confirmed until we bounce massively above it, but to me, it's just very likely to be support because it was very strong resistance, and strong resistance usually flips into good support when you go back, when you fall down to the level from above. It usually turns into good support. So that's what I think will happen here again. And again, the other thing that I really want to hit home in this live stream right here is that funding rates were very high. I was talking about this earlier on in the live stream. Funding rates were very high with Bitcoin, and now they've been more than halved. And so that's something which essentially clears the clouds a little bit to make it safer for Bitcoin to rise up. I'll be honest with you, I didn't say it publicly because I didn't want to contradict myself, but I was a little bit shocked that Bitcoin managed to rise up this quickly, purely because the funding rates were so high. This is actually one of the reasons I personally was nervous about my trade that I made inside of the VIP group. It's because of the funding rates being so high, but I did decide to stick to it, which obviously turned out to be the right decision. And the more I look at this chart, the more this looks to me like just being potentially a very, very classic support retest before the market continues to trade much higher. And believe me, I think if Bitcoin is able to rise above this high right here, it's going to get super explosive again. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if in the same day that Bitcoin breaks 65, I wouldn't be surprised if it hits 70,000 or even above. I mean, we're doing so many things right here that are so damn bullish. I mean, I can't really contain my excitement very well. It's it's absolutely huge. These are big things to be paying attention to, in my opinion. What else have we got here? Why did I choose Bybit over Binance? Because Binance is shady as fuck. I absolutely hate them, and Bybit is I guess all exchanges are a little bit shady, but Bybit is, in my experience, much better. In fact, they're, in my opinion, the best. I've been with them for, this is going to be my 3rd year in a couple of months, so I've been with them for a very long time, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I think they're they're one of the best in the space. So that's why I always talk about them, and I work with other exchanges too. There's also Phemex, which I absolutely love. I think that Phemex is great, a good exchange. They offer some good trading pairs as well, so that there's good reason to be using Phemex. But I do think that Bybit is, just because I've used them for a little bit longer, I think that Bybit is also quite a healthy pick in this market as well. Let's see what other questions we have. I think I am pretty much done with most of the analysis, so if you do have questions, please drop them in the comments as well. And like I said, if you are interested in seeing how I'm trading this market, gaining access to our course where I'm teaching you about how to trade from A to Z, absolutely everything from start to finish, assuming that all you know how to do is click and type on a keyboard, you can still pick up this course. And the goal of the course was to let you trade and analyze exactly as well as I do. We launched this course over a year ago, and the results have been absolutely amazing. There's, the one guy who went through the course, I'll never forget, in March of 2020, he joined VIP with $30,000, and at the beginning of this year, he hit 1 million. So I need to catch up with him. He must be at least 1.5 million by now, and it's been 13 months since he joined. So very impressive numbers. I mean, just absolutely amazing. So that is somebody who had access to our course, and the reason that this is so flashy right now is that everything we're offering is 50% off. These discounts are disappearing fast because they're only available to 25 people, but if you are interested in joining, these are the lowest Bitcoin prices we've ever charged. I mean, in fact, compared to our previous prices, they're nearly an 80% discount. No, they're more than an 80% discount. So if you are in for an absolutely crazy deal with VIP, if you've been considering it for a long time with your Bitcoin holdings, this is the cheapest price you're ever going to get. I'd be very surprised if it got cheaper than this. And if you are in, then greatness awaits. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful results, just so many I could flick through right here. You've already seen a bunch of these as well. Very impressive results pulled by VIPs, plus 120% within the first few days of joining. So if you're in, follow these steps on screen, click on the first link in the description down below, and then on the @FORFLIES button at the bottom of any post inside of FORFLIES Gold, and then on send message to ask me how to join, and I'll give you all the information about it. Let's see what other questions we have here in the comments. The safest exchange, in my opinion, for a high net worth portfolio. I mean, they're all pretty safe, to be honest. I mean, all the major ones are pretty safe in my opinion. I'd go with Bybit. I think Bybit's good, but I mean, the only way to be safe if you're worried about losing your money is having multiple accounts on multiple exchanges. And actually not putting your money on exchanges is a good place to start. Daniel, you're really killing the TA, Sammy. Thank you very much. How did I learn how to trade? From books, videos, both. And also, I joined a VIP group. I joined Crypto Kirby's, which was very beneficial for me at the time. And primarily, the main way I was able to learn how to trade and analyze the way I do was through making a lot of mistakes and learning from them. I know it sounds very cheesy. It's not something you can do quickly, but looking back at it, I had amazing resources, but the one that was the most important was even more important than joining the VIP group. It was learning from mistakes, 100%. I think that was that was kind of the biggest turning point for me. Shout out to Robert Lux in the comments, La Relay. I would love to go for a La Relay right now. That sounds very appealing. How many of you guys know about La Relay, the steak restaurant? I think there's one in New York. They got a couple in London, maybe a couple in Paris. How many of you guys know about that? I'm just curious. FORFLIES, part of my English, let me try to reiterate. Why does the market tend to retest before it pumps massively? I don't know why there's such a tendency. So I can't answer that with 100% confidence, but my opinion on that is it gives the market a chance to crash down massively, but if the market rejects it, that's essentially a very good sign that the market is, it's already, an attempt has already been made to drive the market down, but if that attempt fails, it shows you that there's now no more ambiguity. There's now no more uncertainty in the market. It has to rise higher because the downside has been rejected. The bad analogy that I gave you a couple of videos ago, which so many of you pussies took seriously, I swear, I don't know how you guys are still watching my channel if this shit offends you. Like, just get the fuck out. It's annoying for me. But I gave this example of Donald Trump. He faced his second election and he didn't get elected, which, call it voter fraud, whatever. The point is, in this ideal scenario where there's no voter fraud, people have decided that they could have gone back to what they didn't like, but they didn't, and they rejected that old president. And that is a very, it's like now you've tried it, basically. Donald Trump was an experiment in the political system. It was tried, it failed, and they moved on. This is not me saying anything political. This is just me giving an example. If you're offended, leave. Just get out. It's too annoying to deal with. It's just a hypothetical. But that's essentially what I see with these support tests. It basically gives the market a chance to do something very bearish, and if that chance is not capitalized on, then in my opinion that's where the market starts turning very, very bullish. I think that's absolutely what happens at those kind of levels. It also gives people a chance to re-enter the market. So in terms of a more practical, that's a more ideological thing. In terms of a more practical example of why this is important, a lot of people, I think, would start setting buy and long orders around this level, and that can be potentially what kind of gives the market a lot more support and allows it to start trading higher. So that's also, I think, one big part of it. Let's see what else we have here in the comment section. So, by the way, it seems like no one else knows about Laralay, which is slightly confusing. Have I ever used PayPal to buy crypto? No, I haven't. I buy my crypto OTC. Actually, I don't buy crypto, but I sell my crypto OTC. Yeah, a lot of you guys getting behind this. Look, the thing is, I couldn't care less about politics. They're all idiots, but if people are too delicate to even enjoy a thought experiment because it's political, then I just can't, like, that's too much. There's too many eggshells to be walking on, if you can't I'll bash Biden any day as well. They're all fucking idiots, but it's just, there's too much delicacy. We need actual men and women here. No children that can't take it. Let's see if we have any other questions to do with technicals. Otherwise, I will start looking to head off relatively soon. Christina, what is OTC? OTC means over the counter. So not buying and selling on an exchange, but buying and selling basically privately off the books, so to speak. I mean, it's legal. It is on the books as well, but it's just out of public view. And the reason I do that is the fees are way lower, like way lower. So I just I find it very useful. What's the short-term Bitcoin pricing for today, roughly? If you're interested in that kind of stuff, go ahead and rewind the live stream. I'm not going to repeat it for those of you who have been here from the beginning. Thoughts on the 7.2 billion Bitcoin from the hack in 2016 being moved today? No thoughts, man. It's just typical fear, uncertainty, doubt, in my opinion. The amount of times we've seen mysterious Bitcoins moving around and the amount of times that it's scared people is ridiculous, So maybe this is the one that dumps the market catastrophically lower. The likelihood is that it's not. because we've seen this a million times and nothing has ever happened. So that's my take on Bitcoins being moved around. It's just it's so clearly something that panics the masses, and that really upsets people, you know, and that is just beautifully something that can, you know, breed some fear and uncertainty and doubt in the market, and start seeing the market drop just a little bit down to a support zone. Is PayPal a safe crypto platform? It's not a question for me to answer, unfortunately. I'll take any final questions if you guys have them. Thank you all for tuning in today, by the way, and hitting up the likes. Thank you all for subscribing if you've done so already. I really do appreciate that. Curious to see where we're at, actually. That it's so close to 75,000, so that's very exciting. Thank you all for that. What are the main indicators that I use and prefer? It's the EMA ribbon because it shows momentum. It's the Ichimoku cloud because it predicts support and resistance, and that's it. And then I just use horizontal boxes and lines. I find that they're very reliable. Any ideas on Ethereum prices through the second quarter? I think Ethereum will just keep on going up. Ethereum to 2,500 looks nearly certain now. It's only about $100 away. 3,000 even is possible, I think, in this quarter. And this is the thing, if Ethereum keeps on looking healthy, but it's the more risky bet, then, you know, what about, you know, a more safe bet like Bitcoin? You know, I absolutely think that if Ethereum is healthy, then so is Bitcoin, because I don't think Ethereum can be healthy without Bitcoin being healthy at the moment. Maybe that's going to change in the future, but for now, that's how I feel. So if Ethereum's doing very well, then I think it'll be the same for Bitcoin. Adam Kareem, how's your Ramadan going? Very well, thank you. It's, I mean, I don't partake in much in particular, but like, I'm not a super religious person. Actually, I'm not a religious person at all. But fasting is a way of life for me. So Ramadan started and nothing changed in my life because I always eat one meal a day, you know, so nothing changed in my life. So pretty seamless. Do I use the Elliott wave theory in my TA? No, I don't. I don't think it's reliable. I think it's very subjective. FORFLIES, thank you. You're great to listen to, blunt and non-pumper. Thank you very much, Taylor. That's exactly how it's supposed to be, I think. There's too many delicate people. We don't need them. They're boring. Fasting is good. Yeah, fasting is absolutely great. It's just a way of life for me, for the fat loss. It's going very well. Bobby is asking how tall am I? Why do you guys want to know my height? First time ever someone's asked that on a live stream was yesterday, and now you're doing it again. Alright, so starting to get people asking for XRP, so that's my indication to close off the live stream. Sorry guys, I just don't like XRP, I don't look at it much. Oh, I want to look at Cardano. Cardano had a beautiful pattern that is worth talking about. So let me pull Cardano up. Right here. So it looks like, oh wow, look, it did break out of the ascending triangle, but it turned out to be a fake out. And now it's back down. So that's pretty damn dangerous. Although it's now back in a falling wedge, so I think that absolutely could mean that it's going to continue rising higher. The BTC chart, yeah, nothing of note here. So unfortunately not much I can say about Cardano today. There are gold diggers asking for height. You know, they could be, but I'm pretty sure they're dudes. What book would I recommend of accurate line drawing? A book for line drawing? I have no idea. I've never heard of that. Can I give you more information about OTC? No, not really. It's kind of something that you don't talk about too much. Bobby's also asking my shoe size. If you really are serious about OTC, I can probably set you up with a few people. Actually, I have a fair few contacts, but I don't like to waste their time. So you need to really be serious because, like I said, I don't want to waste their time. If you are and you can prove it, you can message me on Telegram. Same steps for asking me about VIP. Just click send message and ask me for OTC instead of VIP, and I'll give you the information about that. Hats off to you for being a Kirby follower. Oh yeah, I've been watching Crypto Kirby for years. Actually, he was one of the first that I was watching, and I think his analysis is one of the best on the platform, right up there with Tone Vase. If I'm being cheeky, I'd like to put myself up there as well. It was an honor. I remember I met Tone Vase out here in Dubai, and someone asked him how to trade Bitcoin, and Tone Vase pointed to me. He's like, ask him. And that was like my role model, saying that I'm the expert, and it was a beautiful moment for me. It was just very cool. I was internally screaming that I got that approval from him, because I've been to Tone Vase's workshops too. You know, like I've invested a lot in people like Crypto Kirby and Tone Vase and their educational resources, and that's one of the reasons I've been able to become get to kind of where I am now. FORFLIES, why do altcoins go down even if there's a little dump in Bitcoin? I think it's it's not the same in all altcoins. I think a big part of it is just they're speculative. So when things look bad for Bitcoin, alts start performing even worse. But Ethereum is kind of bucking that trend. How about Dan at Chart Champions? I don't watch him. I know he's good. I know he's really good actually. But I don't watch him. Don't know much about him. Alright guys, I'm going to head off. Looks like all the technical questions are over. So thank you all for tuning in. Once again, if you want to gain access to VIP with that flash sale, then the steps to join are on screen right here. It's 50% off for the first 25 people to capitalize on it, as long as Bitcoin is above $60,000. And a lot of those places have already been snapped up. So if you want to get in on that huge discount, it's the lowest Bitcoin price we've ever charged. The steps to do that are on screen right here. If you have enjoyed it though, please hit the like button, subscribe, tick the bell, do all that good stuff. And I'll see you all in the next live stream. Rafe pointing out that he really appreciates that I'm giving credit to people I learned from. Absolutely, no shame in that. It's very important to give credit to people who helped you get to where you are. That's it's my pleasure to be able to do that, honestly. To be able to say that I was one of their students and now I'm where I am now, it makes them look really good, and I know they love that too, so it's really cool. Anyway, I'll see you all in the next live stream. When the market is hot, I'll always do more. One final note, by the way, there are a lot of impersonators. I've got a very impressive impersonator on Instagram. This is my real account, Sammy Loyal. This is my name with 1 underscore at the end. This is my real Instagram account. My Twitter account is this, if you want to follow it. These are the only Twitter and Instagram accounts I have. This is my Twitter. This is my Instagram. I don't have any others. Very, very important to note. I don't have any other YouTube channels. I'm working on getting them both verified, the Twitter and Instagram. The YouTube channel is verified. The Instagram is not. Twitter should hopefully be done relatively soon. This is important because a lot of people are falling for scams, or they're not falling for scams, but they're nearly falling for them, and it's getting a bit ridiculous. These scammers are everywhere. They're all over the comment section. In every single video, these motherfuckers make like 50 accounts a day out of some click farm, I don't know, in Thailand or something, and they're just spamming away in my comments, impersonating me. And I mean, people nearly fall for it a lot, so don't do that. They are just scammers. It's not me. I'm not going to ask you to WhatsApp me. The only way you can contact me, the main way you can contact me is through here, these steps on screen. The only Instagram page I have is this. The only Twitter page I have is this. So if you want to follow the real me, the real FORFLIES, then there you go. Anyone else is an impersonator. I do not have backup accounts. Don't get scammed. All right. Hope you've enjoyed this. See you all in the next.